Alright, this is Transformers Movie 1, uh, Wingblade, and Jetstorm. Jetstorm is the one on the left, the Decepticon, and Wingblade is the Autobot on the right. Um, okay, let me just put the camera down. I'm doing a review on both these figures because, not because they're related or anything, but, well, because I bought them together. Uh, they are the only Ultras, I think, in the first movie, the line of figures for the first movie, and they have gone on clearance for, can you believe it, $10 a piece. They were originally being sold out here in Manila for about $50 each. Oh, sorry, just under $40. And apparently there was not enough buzz or interest for these figures, so a year and a half later they are on clearance for $10 a piece. So I figured, an ultra class for $10, why not get two, right? Okay. Not really a lot of things to say about these figures because they are direct repaints of the Cybertron figures. Jetstorm is a repaint of Cybertron, if I'm not mistaken. Ooh, Stormcloud or Jetfire? I'm not sure. Stormcloud, I think. Or yeah, Stormcloud, I think. I'm not sure. And uh, Wingblade is a repaint of, for the US version, I think Jetfire. And for the Japanese, they call him Wingsaber, or out there they call him Wingsaber. Okay, so they're pretty good figures. I mean, if you already have the original Cybertron figures, you probably don't need to hunt these guys down. I didn't have the Cybertron Wingsaber or Stormcloud, so this is a big treat for me for getting them for $10 a piece. Okay, let's talk about each of the figures in detail. Let's start with Wingblade. Okay. Um, well, I've seen pictures and the actual toy for the original Wingsaber, and the colors of the original figure are way better than this one. This one is like a military scheme of colors, except for this part. But everything is in boring army green and beige, so with a bit of yellow and some green highlights, but nothing much really to say. It's gray, dull, and you really know it's a military vessel. And other than that, he does retain all his gimmicks. Um, the um, the weapons do snap onto his hands. This is the saber weapon. The blade of the sword forms part of the flaps of the jet, and this one, oh sorry, this particular piece, the hilt of the sword, does store at the back part of the jet, like so. I wanted to connect both of these guys onto both hands, but I wanted also to show how this gun connects to his hands. There's two of them. There's one right here and here. This is kind of lame for me because, well, I think it does combine with, this figure can combine with a Galaxy Force Optimus Prime, so, that wouldn't be a problem. He does retain those features as well. The gun soars here on the wingtip. My problem with this figure, I don't know if it's the same with your figures, if you have this figure, is that this particular peg hole is very loose. If you try and connect the or I think maybe it's not this hole, but I think this peg is a little bit too narrow because it's just too loose. I mean, it doesn't even hold. There's not enough friction for it to hold. So that's one of the reasons I couldn't put both blades in. Okay, and you know, I don't know if I plan to display this figure in carrying both armaments. I probably just plan to display him this way. What's nice about this figure is I thought this was going to be like another incinerator with no hands, right? But or an overcast, or yeah, uh, the small deluxe jet Decepticon. But I was quite surprised that I didn't see the well. I didn't have the Cybertron figure, so I didn't know about this. But the barrels, two of the barrels fold down, and the other one folds down completely, and they reveal like 5 fingers and make like a hand, which is a nice touch. I mean, it's like a hand. This is his thumb and the 4 fingers, which is pretty cool, pretty awesome. Um, he does. Oh, well, okay. Let's go to the feature. He does retain his key gimmick, which he put it here. Uh, pops open the. Let me see that. Pops open the top part, and he does come with electronics and lights. You push it down, as most Ultras, which is very nice, but just one sound. So it's pretty okay. Um, and this figure is very, very articulate and very posable. He does have all the posability joints for any ultra class figure, which is great. The only drawback is this joint. I mean, this is the up and down motion of the arm, but it's hinged onto the back part, so it's kind of awkward when he raises his hand. But other than that, this is a very posable figure. Lots of playability here. And if I'm not mistaken, sorry, you didn't see the articulation on the legs. Very articulate, just like the Cybertron version of this figure. And I think he can combine with the Galaxy Force. I also don't have the Galaxy Force Optimus Prime. I'm still waiting for my chance to get one. But he does combine this way, and he can connect. So, like that, and then you fold everything back, and it forms Wings of Optimus Prime, which is what I think the Revenge of the Fallen Prime and Jetfire are paying tribute to. So there. Let me just put him aside. Okay, let's go quickly to Jetstorm. Jetstorm, I think, is probably, well, I thought I'd like the Wingblade more than the Jetstorm figure, but as it turns out, I am liking this guy a hell of a lot more than that other guy, because that other guy, the Wingblade figure, is so unstable with his legs. I mean, he's got like paddles for feet, and he just keeps on tipping. This guy has heel spurs and feet of the same size, and his legs have just a lot of articulation. You can pose him like the way animated figures can be posed, like in the squatting position, like how the cartoons are drawn. It's very nice. You can do a lot of posability on him, and it would look as though he doesn't have as much articulation in the arms, but he does. He's got a shoulder joint right here, but moves the wings. That's the only drawback. He can move his arm side to side, bend at the elbows, and amazingly, he has wrist articulation, despite having the transformation, despite having the wrists move inward for his transformation. I mean, that's a big plus for this figure, and you can get him in such cool poses. And he's a Decepticon. I mean, most of the Jets I know are Decepticons, except Jetfire or Wingblade or Wingsaber. Unfortunately for this particular figure, since he's an old figure, because he's on clearance, the batteries had ran out. And these are not regular batteries. These are like these small pebble-shaped batteries that like 3 of them that are this big, and it's very hard to find them. I'll probably see if I can get some, and I'll give you an update on how the sounds work. There are no electronics right now because the batteries are not working. I've taken them out. Okay, the key gimmick for this guy is the same as the Universe, which you will see in jet mode probably, but in robot mode it does work. You just flick the key in, and it pops up the gun, this back blaster, and that's about it. Other than that, this is a very interesting figure. As I said, very posable, very articulate in both the arms and legs. He even has waist articulation. Wingblade does have a waist articulation, but this guy just is just awesome to pose and just great playability. Everything says great about this figure. So I'm really digging this more than the Autobot Wingblade. Last thing on this guy, paint scheme, still boring, just like Wingblade. It's bone white and gray and some purple bits. The original colors were way better, which was dark green, light green, and some silver, which was really great. So stay tuned for part 2 as we discuss transformation and alt mode.